We are now live.
I'm doing my hair.
We're now live on Facebook and YouTube. We're now live on Instagram. What's up? What's happening? Hope everybody's having a wonderful. Is it Wednesday? Wednesday.
Live at 5 on it.
Live
Every
at 5 on
Wednesday.
Wednesday. So we're gonna
It's
let.
raining out there. My hair is crazy.
We gotta. I guess we got 1 minute, so I'm let a couple people jump on.
Kayla's on here.
Kayla is on here. What's up, Kayla?
Chad's on here.
Chad's her brother.
Chad's my brother. Oh, I'm also making it crazy.
All right. What's up? Keto Neo? How you doing, Broseph?
Oh, how's everyone doing? We're talking about mobility and increasing movement today because
you want to start with this one? I feel like
Coco and Chico.
Cheers. I feel like you probably struggle more with mobility than me. So do you want to talk about mobility?
Why do you think I struggle with mobility?
Because you just wake up stiffer.
More stiffer.
All right.
Let's talk about it a little bit. So starting with mobility and movement. And I realize that everyone's starting or is at a different part in their life. Some people have autoimmune disorders. Some people have maybe a bone disease or joints or arthritis or whatever. Why are you looking at me? You looking at me like I'm dumb.
She's so cute.
But I do want you guys to all realize that everyone's starting in their own place. Some people have fibromyalgia. Everyone is in their own place. So now that we have that settled, everyone can do some sort of movement unless you are physically actually paralyzed or something like that on a serious level. But if your body can move, then you need to do some sort of extra movement every day. And that has been like a really big thing that I've been trying to teach people lately, is that you don't have to be a bodybuilder. You don't have to be a crazy athlete. You don't have to do any specific thing as long as you're getting in movements. My brother's on here right now, and his big thing is that every day they play with the kids. Every day they play some sort of game. They get outside with the kids and they do something before dinner or before bed and have fun and get in some activity, no matter what it is. Like go play Frisbee, go kick around a soccer ball, go for a walk, or just do something active. Now with things like Robert was mentioning, I wake up kind of stiff, especially when I'm like mentally stressed out. It physically takes a toll on me. A lot of people with adrenal fatigue or autoimmune disorders or things like that will also wake up like that when their body is when their body is stressed mentally, it will come out in their body. So what we kind of had started doing is, because I do work out in the morning, is I started waking up and spending a little bit of time in bed, allowing my body to be warm but awake. But then we go for a walk every morning. And that really helps to loosen both of us up and prepare us for us doing our weight training.
It's about a mile.
Yeah, it's about a mile. We take Jack with us. It's a good time for us to talk, drink our coffee or a pre-workout or whatever you guys want. And just get moving first thing in the morning. It lubricates your joints. It gets everything moving. Even like it's good for your digestive system to kind of get started, get some water in you, and just get everything warmed up. I think that's the worst part of waking up sore, waking up with your joints hurting, waking up with your muscles hurting. Why are you laughing at me? I'm being serious right now. It's just to get yourself prepared for the rest of the day, whether you're going to go work out or you're going to go to work immediately or whatever it is that you do for your day. And then also I've noticed that stretching is very important. Foam rolling is very important. Dynamic stretches are very important.
More so than static stretches.
Yes. Static stretches are great for post-workout, but dynamic stretches are stretches that you're doing within a movement. So rather than just doing like a
toe touch and hold.
Yes, you could do something like a lunge or something like that. So you want to make sure that you're doing a movement and not just holding and stretching out that muscle. So dynamic stretches are super important. And then, you can do extra things that will help with your mobility or help to warm your body up by like getting in a sauna, getting in a hot shower, or anything that will really warm you up and just prepare you for whatever movement you're going to do in a day.
I'm gonna get a big horse trough and fill it full of ice cold water, and then
That's what Mike Mutzel does.
I know.
He's a cuckoo head.
Actually,
I can't do it.
I've seen a lot of people. They'll get like it gets expensive buying enough ice to fill up a horse trough. So I've seen a lot of people buy like a deep freezer, like a chest freezer, and then they'll put water in it and they'll just set the temperature so it's just shy of freezing, but like cold enough that it shy of freezing. It's like 33 degrees, and just jump in the chest freezer.
Mike lives in Washington State, so when it's like snowing and icy outside, he has a trough that's just out there, and he just jumps in it. Yeah. And it's already freezing outside, so it never gets that cold here for us to do that. It gets cold, but not that cold.
Yeah, I think that would be good. You don't want to do that immediately post-training. Like, you don't necessarily want to do...
I think he did that first thing when he woke up.
Yeah, like you don't want to do cold therapy immediately post-exercise because you want your body to have some degree of inflammation. Like, some degree of inflammation has that hormetic effect, which basically means when you stress your body, when you stimulate your body, when you push your body, having that period of time for your body to adjust and acclimate to that stress is what causes growth and resilience, both like on a psychological level and also from a physical standpoint. That's the same reason why you don't want to like have a crazy hard workout and then down a bunch of ibuprofens, because you don't want to shunt that hormetic effect of the training. So you don't, for that same reason, you don't want to jump into like an ice bath immediately post workout. But cold therapy is great, especially after you've recovered a period of time. So I do want to do that. I think we should. I mean, we have that chest freezer that we don't even ever use.
I hate being cold.
Would you do it if I do it?
I would probably do it just for the benefits, but I really hate being cold.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right, so we have some questions or some things that people are saying. It was great to have you on Meet RX this week, Robert.
Well, thank you. I enjoyed it immensely.
Hello, sorry for being late. Oh, no need to apologize.
Jessica says, hey, what's up, Jessica? James says hello from Chicago. What's up? Tony says hello from Illinois. Mike says some of us are just old. You're not old, man. You're in your prime. Ryan says hello from Vancouver. And Natalie says, hey, y'all, what's up?
Hey. We have a question. Do you count your coffee with steamed cream as breaking your fast? Yes.
Yes.
100%. You are no longer fasting when you have heavy cream in your coffee. What are you smirking about?
I'm smirking because that just reminded me of something I saw. They're called fasting bars. Have you seen these? Have y'all seen these fasting bars?
Sorry for my face if any of you guys eat those.
All right, so
if you put something in your mouth that is not water or black coffee or tea, you are no longer fasting. Let me let you know.
So I saw it. I don't ever want to like talk bad about another food company because that's just bad form. I mean, I've got a food company, so I don't want to talk bad about another food company. But they're called fasting bars, and they've got like all this, clinically cited research documentation that shows that it does not break the fast. And like the ingredients are, I'm gonna have to pull it up now. I don't have my phone on me though.
Yeah, that's
but
weird.
It's pretty crazy because like legitimate food. There's like nuts and nut butters and seeds and stuff in there, and it's a fasting bar that doesn't break your fast.
Maybe a breaking your fasting bar.
No, it's like this. You can have this in a fast, and it's supposed to like not break your fast.
Weird. If you put something in your mouth, you're breaking your fast. Yeah. But a lot of people do. I will explain the cream in your coffee. So a lot of people do a fat fast, which is a sense of putting off a meal until later in the day. So some people put heavy cream or MCT oil or something in their coffee so that their stomach feels full, that they feel satiated, so that they can put off having a meal until later in the day, which is totally fine, but realize that it is breaking a fast and you still are putting calories in your body. Yeah. That was a really great question, by the way.
Hello from Oklahoma. Mike says, why do you like foam rolling? So foam rolling, from like a physiological standpoint, what happens is your muscles are basically a whole bunch of little fibers, right? You got a bunch of muscle fascia tissue, fibrous material. And when you're foam rolling, you're basically taking those fibers and breaking them up a little bit. You're moving them around a little bit. You're loosening them up. You're getting them more engaged and stimulated. And foam rolling, especially if it's like an aggressive foam roll, like I got one of those rumble rollers is what it's called.
Those are terrible, but awesome.
It's got like all these little spikes on it, and that really gets in there and breaks up that muscle fascia tissue. But yeah, the more you break that up, the more pliable it is, the more room you create for muscle growth as you're training.
Good carnivore / keto meal prep company you know of and recommend. So I know a lot of people, I'm guessing you mean like pre-prepped meals. The only one that I've actually looked into is Eat to Evolve. They reached out and asked if I would promote them, and I felt like everyone and their brother was promoting them. So I did say no. However, I will recommend them to my clients because they are actually pretty clean and great. They're not carnivore by any means, but there are things like carnivore snacks and jerkies and things like that that could be helpful, but not as like a full meal probably. Do you know any meal prep companies?
I don't know. Honestly, if you're wanting to do a carnivore meal prep, you're going to save a lot of money just by buying the meats in bulk and then doing some super simple meal prep. I mean, what you would have to, from a company standpoint, for them to buy high quality meat, cook it and preserve it and ship it to you is going to be, like, if it's actually high quality stuff, it's going to be a lot more expensive than what it would take for you to just buy bulk meat. If that's all you're doing is carnivore, and just like meal prep that in a super simple way, like a crock pot or instant pot or something like that.
Yeah, and I don't know if you follow any of these other people, but there are a bunch of people that are promoting Eat to Evolve, and you get like a certain percentage off your first order. So there's like Danny and Mara Vega, Brandon and Hannah Scott, Jamie Seaman. They're all people that promote it, and you can get a discount code for, I think it's just off your first order. That's the only company that I really know that does that, though.
Ryan says having any sort of calories will break your fast, right? So yeah, there's like lots of different levels of fasting. So you can do like a fat fast, which is basically only eating or drinking sources of fats. You're gonna get an insulin response and you're gonna break your fast with fats. However, it's gonna be a much more slowed release of glucose and insulin, so you can get a lot of the benefits from fasting by doing a fat fast. It's still not a pure fast, but like for me, I'll have like a fatty coffee with heavy cream in it in the morning, and that's gonna have much less of an immediate response on my glucose and insulin levels than like a meal full of proteins and definitely carbs would. So
I'm dying at this fast. Someone looked at the ingredients for the fasting bar.
Hold on, let me read this one first. Hello from Orlando. What's a good way to improve my mobility if I can't get a barbell on my shoulders for squats or able to touch my toes? So if you can't do, so what's a good way to improve? I'm going to do two-part questions here. What's a good way to improve your mobility if I can't get a barbell on my shoulders for squats? So one thing that you could do is so the mobility involved in getting a bar on your back and grabbing it and having that stability there is mostly going to be related to your shoulder joints, all the joints here, and having that
and
mobility. So yeah, and wrist too. So for that, I would get like just a resistance band and do like a bunch of laterals, bunch of internal, external rotations, and just do some mobility work. Front, side, lateral, rear, lateral, raise. All of that's going to really help with that. And then what you could do in the meantime, until you're able to have that mobility, is you can do like Jefferson squats. Jefferson squats are a really good alternative to normal barbell back squats. Sumo deadlifts would also work your legs quite well. There's a lot of different exercises you can do without having to have that. If you have access to a gym, you can do like a leg press or something like that. Belt squats are a really good option. So yeah, I would just do that and then mix up the exercises.
You also can use a PVC pipe as well, and just try, like, if you want to try and get it behind, just start doing like presses with the pipe, and it's so light that you're able to kind of do that movement, but just try and do that movement over and over again and try to get lower and closer to your back, if that makes sense. Also, same thing with being able to touch your toes. You want to make sure that you're trying to get that stretch, so just try and do that and just like pulse it rather than like holding it static. Just like do it in a pulsing motion.
All right, so James put the ingredients for the fasting bar in here: macadamia nuts, honey, pecans, almonds, cocoa nibs, almond butter, coconut, inulin, flaxseed, coconut oil, coconut flour, sea salt, natural flavor, mixed tocopherols, citric acid, ascorbic acid. So I'm not gonna knock them. I mean that maybe that's great ingredients depending on what your goals are. Maybe it's a great quality bar depending on what your goals are. But I feel like to say that this is my bar, these are the ingredients in the bar, and the macros are 21 grams of fat, 5 grams protein, 14 carbs, and a 44-gram bar, and say that this has the same effect as fasting, which is a very hot and popular topic right now. Like everybody's Googling and wanting to do fasting, intermittent fasting, to claim that this food source allows you to fast and have the benefits of fasting, that I feel is very misleading.
It sounds like it could be a decent type of bar, honestly, but maybe not for fasting.
Yeah.
All right.
I thought about doing the snake diets, like fast for a month. So you can do. I don't know exactly what this. I think it's just basically snake juice is what they call it, and then which is electrolytes.
I've had actually like 3 different clients do the snake diet and come back feeling terrible. And I don't say that because I want you to do something else, but I think a pure fast is actually the better option.
What is the snake diet? Is it like food?
I've looked into it several times, but I would have to look into it again to be able. I just remember like them coming to me and being like, "I feel terrible," and I don't want anyone to wreck themselves because of something, you know. And I just know like that's all the information I have on it is that I have had people who have not had great experiences, but by all means, you're welcome to try it yourself.
I'll look into it more and see what it all involves. If it means not eating for a month, I'm not really gonna promote that.
All right. Follow them all. Thanks. You're welcome.
We got any other questions here on YouTube?
I have golfer's elbow and tennis elbow at the time. Limiting exercise for me. That is a pretty brutal thing.
I would recommend getting some lifting wraps. So like I had tennis elbow really bad as well, and it flared up whenever I was doing tricep extensions, especially like skull crushers. That's what hurt the most, especially overhead tricep extensions and skull crushers. So I got the wrist straps, not the wrist wraps, but the wrist. No, maybe it's the wrist straps, not the ones that you use to wrap around the bar to grab the bar with. Those alleviated a lot of that stress. So I would try that.
Jonathan said, "Well, good evening, my family." Well, good evening. Those presses with the pipe would likely aggravate my elbow, tennis elbow, golfer's elbow. Yeah, probably with the pipe. I mean, anything with using your elbow is probably going to aggravate that area.
We're not getting many questions on YouTube and Facebook here. Come on, y'all, bring us some questions. We're just gonna jibber jabber.
Yeah, we are jibber jabbering.
I gotta go for a run still. Got to go for a run still. Quits early. Get some running in. Get some food on the table. Do you have any book recommendations? Yeah. So Atomic Habits is one that I just read. I would definitely recommend that. That's by James Clear. I also just got done. I'm reading. I don't know what the title of it is, but something like 12 Rules for Life, I think, is by Jordan Peterson, and I'm really enjoying that thus far, so I'd recommend that one. It's pretty deep. Like the way Jordan Peterson writes is very involved. Like the first rule for life was don't slouch your shoulders and basically stand up with authority, and then it went on to like this incredible diatribe about lobsters. But it was very interesting, but it's a very in-depth read, so take that.
Thoughts on collagen for joint support? You have thoughts?
I think collagen can be advantageous. I feel like having some collagen in your nutritional protocol would be a sensible thing to do, especially if you're getting it from good, high quality, like bone broth sources, making your own stuff like that. But the collagen industry is very overly hyped. I mean, a lot of people. All right, I'm gonna answer your question here in a second, Tammy. But collagen was a waste product for quite some time. Like a lot of companies were just, you know, making something out of everything else, then discarding the collagen part of the byproduct. And then this whole collagen boom kicked up, and they just started ramping up production and marketing and selling all this collagen peptides. Is like the greatest thing since sliced bread, except none of us eat sliced bread here. And it just got a lot of hype. And there's like a lot of marketing around collagen. So yes, I do think collagen, that's all great, especially if you're getting it from good quality sources. But don't think there's going to be like your saving grace that's just going to change your world and make your life night and day difference.
Okay, you can answer that, Tammy.
I
have lupus and rheumatoid arthritis and fibromyalgia. How can I get better mobility in my knees? Stretching is going to be your best friend, and also maybe some yoga. Stretching in a dynamic stretching is probably going to be best, as we were mentioning before. I do have several people in my life that have those, and it can be very painful and not very fun. And that is the biggest thing, is that when you do have these issues, then it can be pretty miserable or painful to begin. But I promise that if you do continue on, you will actually feel a lot better, and you will have better mobility for sure.
Questions rolling in now. Any new keto bricks coming out soon? We are working on some new keto bricks for sure. We're working on some seasonal flavors, but we're still formulating, and we have to buy the ingredients, make the bricks. So it'll be a little while still. I'm in the middle of the 75 hard challenge, and I'm burning through the books I have. Yeah, I would recommend those for sure. Yeah, Atomic Habits, 12 Rules for Life, I believe is what it's called, by Jordan Peterson.
Okay. You stated you wouldn't recommend fasting when following the keto lifestyle while trying to build lean muscle, correct?
Wait, go back. You stated you wouldn't recommend fasting when following the keto lifestyle and while trying to build lean muscle. So I don't recommend fasting if you're trying to lose body fat and you're in the context of a caloric deficit, because that's two stressors on the body. Fasting is a stressor, and being in a caloric deficit is a stressor. However, if you're going to be in a caloric surplus, I do recommend some occasional strategic fasting. And if you're trying to build lean muscle, you would ideally be in a surplus. So in the context of building lean muscle in a surplus, yeah, it's safer to have some fasting sprinkled in there. Now, if you are fasting, that's not going to be the most conducive thing to building a bunch of lean mass, but that is a good, healthy thing to do intermittently while you are in a surplus.
Mm-hmm. Jonathan said, a run. Oh, I'm down. We need to run together, bro.
Bro. Mike says, what is both of your squat, bench, and deadlift totals? Ooh, I don't even know.
What is?
We don't ever max out.
Oh, it's been a long time. My max ever, I guess we could say.
Yeah, we get.
Squat, I think it was 275, wasn't it?
I think so.
It was 275 squat. Bench was
145.
165. Yeah, 165, and deadlift is 300.
My deadlift is 5 plates. My squat is probably 465, somewhere in there. My bench is probably 355, somewhere in there. Do you know anything about IgG food testing? What does IgG stand for?
Ooh.
You know, IgG food testing.
I don't know. There's so many.
So many acronyms. What is IgG food testing, Arlene?
What would you suggest? No. Would you suggest cutting or bulking if someone is skinny fat?
Building.
That's what I was when I very first started, and exactly what I did is pretty much what Robert just said. I just started lifting heavy, lifting regularly, and eating plenty of food for my body, because you're going to want to change that body composition, and your body fat will naturally kind of just transition over as you start to build that muscle.
Any update on continuing the chocolate peanut butter cup bricks? So we may have some updates on that, but it won't be until after the seasonal bricks come out. So
yeah, we haven't really fully decided yet. Well, the chocolate. Oh, that's hilarious.
Same question.
Yeah.
Does glucosamine affect ketosis? I don't know. I don't take glucosamine.
Yeah, yeah.
I honestly don't know, Randall. I wouldn't think so, but I will look into that and let you know.
In your opinion, best exercise to build the lateral head of the tricep?
I would recommend dumbbell skull crushers. That's what I would do.
Okay, best question of the night. Why are you two such savages? Jonathan.
Jay Shane, the Keto Road. All right.
I just got a potential spam call, so sorry about that, break.
I use collagen every day from Perfect Keto. Yeah, I think theirs is pretty good quality. They figured out how to market cow toenails. Genius. It's pretty much.
What?
That's pretty much what you're getting.
Don't get rid of the regular peanut butter. We don't know yet, but I don't feel like we will. I feel like a lot of people like that one.
Overweight for so long, I have found mobility to be a problem. I have lost weight and things are starting to get better. Started bands slowly increasing. Started hiking too. Any other suggestions?
That's a really great place to be. You can stay there for a long time until you kind of get that mobility and the strength that you're looking for. There's no need to push yourself to do anything extra unless you're just bored with it.
A stationary bike would be a very low impact way to get some more movement in. So that would be a good one.
Idea.
Tammy says, I do yoga.
That's good.
Have you guys ever tried DDPY? I have not, but I've heard great things about it. I need to try it, but I have not. Is it bad to lose weight really fast? I gained a lot of weight this year. I thought about doing a prolonged fasting protocol with keto. I do not recommend losing a lot of weight really fast. I've done it before. I lost 80 pounds in 3 months, and I lost a ton of muscle in the process. When you lose a bunch of weight really fast, it is inevitable that you're also going to lose a bunch of muscle, and you're also going to probably drastically reduce and downregulate your metabolic rate more so than would be optimal if you lost that weight in a slower, more conservative approach. So I don't recommend the crazy weight loss.
I do also have to say, if you're doing the prolonged fast just to lose weight, maybe just think a little bit hard about that. Prolonged fasts can be so beneficial, but I don't believe that it's the best way to maintain a weight loss.
Agree. Vintage Girls, you've seen the YouTube movie on grounding and some fascinating things on grounding and some people's stories. Wondered what you thought as a biohacker because it has some different sleep hacks. So grounding is great, but it's a weird concept for me to wrap my head around because, like, I'm a country boy, so like I go outside and I lay on the ground. And that's just like a normal thing that I don't really have to think about. But now there's like this whole philosophy around grounding.
It's because the city people don't touch the grass.
Yeah. And somebody said something about forest bathing to me one time. And I'm like, what is forest bathing? They're like, oh, being outside amongst the trees and bathing in the wilderness. And I'm like, that's my day-to-day, bro. So it's good stuff for sure. But it's weird that it's an actual concept. Pumpkin pie. I don't know about the pumpkin pie. We are working on some seasonal stuff, but it may not be pumpkin pie. Maybe even better. Send you the link. Let us know what you think about those earthing mattress items and external shoe gadgets. Now that sounds interesting.
Wow.
I'll have to look at this for sure. Congratulations on your new building purchase. You both have come a long way from the rental kitchen. Any new video developments with the reno? Yeah, we're actually going to go maybe next weekend.
We could go this weekend.
We might go this weekend. And the next time we go, we will get some video footage because they have made some progress on the demolition stuff for sure. What is DDPY? I knew somebody was going to ask me that because I asked last week what it stood for and it made sense, but I don't remember. So it's, I don't have my phone on me. DDPY, it's like I think his name is Dallas something.
Yeah.
The Y stands for yoga. But it's like his name, and then I forget what the P stands for.
I can't remember either. If anyone knows, you should tell us because I do remember this.
It's like a functional form of yoga.
Yeah. Can you please talk about the ratio of electrolytes? Thanks.
I'll answer Arlene here after this one.
Okay.
So you want to go?
Ratio of electrolytes. So generally, we suggest that you do half the amount of potassium that you have in sodium, and for magnesium, it's not particularly a ratio, but we generally suggest anywhere between like 300 to 500 milligrams, depending on your person, your body. But there is a Redmond Relight has like the perfect breakdown of electrolytes in their powder. They definitely have a 2-to-1 ratio with the potassium to sodium. Yeah, potassium to sodium, and then they have like a really great amount of magnesium in there as well. You can supplement more of the magnesium if you need to, but it's not necessary.
I've seen a bunch of stuff from Dr. Berg lately that people have been asking me about, where he's recommending like 4 times more potassium than sodium or something like that. And I don't necessarily agree with that. There's a lot of potassium in quality meat.
Yeah,
so if you're eating quality meat, you're going to be
especially
getting
like
a lot of
red
that
meats.
potassium. Yeah. So like you don't need to supplement as much potassium if you're getting high quality meats.
He does have people eat a lot of vegetables though, so maybe they're not getting as much meat.
Yeah.
So I don't know about that. I've not heard that.
All right, here we go. That's a big word. Immunoglobulin. Immunoglobulin. IgE is an immediate food allergy like a peanut allergy. And then she says IgG testing test for food sensitivity is a delayed food sensitivity that could cause vague symptoms. I've read different studies saying it could be delayed or reaction or just a memory antigen. Yeah, so I have heard of that. The testing.
I've done the testing, but I don't remember it being IgG.
Yeah.
I don't remember what kind it was, but I did that and I did the diet for it as well, and it was fine. But it didn't really do a whole lot. It told me I was really sensitive to chicken, and I eat chicken all the time.
Yeah.
Did tell me I was sensitive to turmeric, and every time I have ever had turmeric, my stomach gets really upset. So I think that it can be kind of true, and maybe it causes some sort of inflammation in your body that you just can't tell. But if you're interested, or if you're having food problems, or like just like an upset stomach, or maybe having some sort of outbreak, or maybe you just feel like there is inflammation in your system, it's a good way to go. And you can do kind of a what is it called?
Elimination diet.
Elimination, that's the word.
I'm not a huge fan of the pumpkin bricks. I do love the malted milk ones, and was sad to miss the PB cup ones. My favorite otherwise is the toasted almond ones. Yeah, nice. So the malted bricks are, I like them all.
Yeah,
I love them all. Cindy says the pumpkin spice was a little too spicy and disappointed. Yeah, if you have the pumpkin spice, we're a seasonal brick, and those do have a shorter shelf life. So
yeah, yeah.
So like the pumpkin bricks were like one of my favorite bricks if you eat them pretty close to the production date. But that's why I made seasonal flavors, because it doesn't go bad, but like the spice
definitely gets spicier.
Yeah, the spice gets more intense, which I want it to be a subtle spice.
Yeah, it was either like your absolute favorite brick ever, or you didn't really care for it because it was too spicy. It was like one or the other.
Diamond Dallas Page.
That's
what it
is. Aaron, Fat for the weight loss says, hey, loving these lives.
What's up, brother?
Hey, party people.
Mike says I take a cap full of Keto Chow mag drops per night. Yeah, those are pretty good. I don't use those for magnesium, but they are really good stuff. Really good stuff.
Do you just do it in water? I've tried. No, I don't think it was Keto Chow, but I've tried to do some of the drops and just like put it back, and my whole throat was on fire. I don't remember what brand it was that I tried that with, but are you able to do that with the Keto Chow ones, or is it burn?
Vintage says, yes, we grew up in the country too, raised on a farm, but items I mentioned and how to indoor grounding was my curiosity, and these gadgets, Relight is so good. Love it. I will definitely check out that link because I am very curious. Arlene, that's my thing. I am on CV and it says I am too sensitive to beef. That's all I'm eating. Yeah, it's weird because some of these sensitivity tests say you can't eat this, but it's like that's the only thing that really seems to work for you. I took one test that said that I would not metabolize fat very well and I should need a very high fat diet.
Sometimes also those tests can be what you have eaten a lot of lately. And so when it said chicken, I was like, that's weird because I love chicken, because at that time I think I was having the beef aversion, and so I ended up eating a lot of the chicken. So I think they can read some of the things that you eat a lot in your diet rather than something that you're actually sensitive to.
True. James says I ate a pumpkin brick yesterday and it was great.
Oh, that's hilarious. See, like some people just absolutely love the pumpkin.
Yeah, that especially the pumpkin bricks make total sense. Pumpkin pie keto bread was perfect for making keto pumpkin pie.
Oh yeah.
Say that really fast. The pumpkin pie keto bread was perfect for making keto pumpkin pie. Tongue twister going on here. I do my mag drops in a can of flavored sparkling water. That makes a lot of
Ooh,
sense.
That's a good idea.
Chocolate peanut butter brick is where it's at.
So good.
Just ordered some Relight off Amazon. I've been using Dr. Berg's mix. Yeah, Dr. Berg's is pretty good. I like it a lot, but I think the Relight is better simply because it's just easier. It's just easier to have a 2-to-1 ratio already built into the powder, so you're not having to like do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. It's like boom, 2-to-1.
Yep.
There you go.
It's already ready.
All right.
Ready, Freddie?
Ready, Freddy. What are we gonna talk about next week?
There was another one that from last week that we said we were going to talk about next week, which was insulin. There wasn't any specific topic about insulin, but we said that we would talk about insulin.
Let's talk about the cephalic, however you want to pronounce it, phase of insulin response next week. That's going to be next week's topics. Cephalic phase of insulin response. So get ready for that. We'll see y'all then. Ta-ta, toodaloo, adios.
Ta-ta,
Facebook,
toodaloo.
YouTube, Instagram. Boom.
Oh, picture.
What? Say haven't. All right. How do I end this here?